All right, so I'm just gonna wet the outside of this windshield. We're actually gonna set the film on the outside. Again, I would normally use my peel board for this, the board that it's on, but to show you guys, we're gonna use this. So we're gonna set this the way it would be orientated, just liner side out. If you guys are doing a full windshield on your machine, you are probably gonna need a heat gun. The reason being is this is called a finger. The windshield has a little bit of curve to it, and that curve is going to create fingers in the film once you install. So you've got two options. You could either shrink that out here, or you could shrink it on the inside of the machine after you install. I would suggest shrinking it out here to make it easier. So when you come up to pushing on these, you're gonna push that down and it's gonna pop back up in a different spot. That's how you know that it's gonna need to be shrunk. You can only shrink. You can only shrink the film on the top and the bottom of the film. So this finger right here is actually gonna pop up on the inside of the machine if we weren't to take care of it now. So what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna get our heat gun, we're gonna put it on high, and then we're just gonna heat up this finger, and as it heats up, it will shrivel like that. We're just gonna push that down. Boom. We're gonna heat it up so it shrivels. You don't wanna go too much. Push. It will let you know if it's not enough, it will pop back up. But we're just gonna push that down. And that's actually shaping the film to the curvature of the glass. This is gonna be like the hardest part for new tinters. Like I said, I have seen guys just install it with the fingers and then keep pushing them down over. Eventually the glue will overpower the finger. But this is the proper way to do so. So we're just gonna keep pushing this down. And now this is all shrunk. So if you look at that side here, there's no more. So now this is all stuck down to the glass. Typically on these Can-Am machines, you don't have to do anything to the top. Usually you just get fingers here. Hopefully that will avoid those. If we get any, we'll show you what to do with them. So I'm just gonna mist the liner, thus eliminating static electricity. This is where you want the fans off in your shop, the doors closed. We're just going to lift the film. We're gonna simply mist all of the film. We're gonna do this as quickly and as efficiently as we can. And then we're just gonna lay the liner back down. And we're just gonna smooth the liner out with our hand. Now we've trapped a little bit of soapy water between the film and the glass, or I'm sorry, the film and the liner. And we're gonna do the same on this side. So I'm just gonna give this a mist. We're gonna mist the liner. We're gonna go all the way to the halfway mark where we've already misted. And again, we're not gonna rinse any dirt into our work area. We're simply just wetting the film. It doesn't need to be excessively wet. It just needs to be misted. And we're gonna get this lined up. And we're just gonna rake that out with our hands. The liner's laying flat. So now we're gonna give this another mist. We're gonna pick up the film and the liner and we're gonna roll. So again, we're doing a reverse roll just like we did for the back window. We're gonna roll this on. I'm gonna pick this up and now I'm just gonna roll it with my fingertips. So the reverse roll is gonna create where now the film and the liner have been separated with a thin layer of soapy water. When I got this rolled, this is the tab now for right here. So now when this opens up, this is the film side, the liners come to the back side. So the liner's right here. So we're gonna leave this rolled up. Film's perfectly protected right now. We're gonna take our film and we're gonna set it somewhere safe where it's not gonna get dirty or crunched or anything. And we're going to prep the inside windshield. So this is where we're gonna need like a bath towel. We have these big dash towels. So grab your wife's bath towel. You're gonna set that bath towel over the top of the dash to protect any electronics that the machine may have. And again, we're gonna take a microfiber or a cloth. We're gonna mist down the machine. I wanna get centered in the machine, so I'm gonna move all my tools. I'm gonna get centered in the machine so I can work. You can do this as a two-person install. I'm gonna wipe this down. Anywhere you think the film could potentially touch, we wanna wipe down. So I want to make sure that this is perfectly clean. I'm even wiping up here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to mist the film, or mist the glass. And we're going to take our blue scrubby pad that came in our master install kit, and we're going to scrubby down the whole glass, ensuring we get every last inch. I'm using the knuckles of my hand, and I'm just scrubbing this down. Now that it's all soapy, we're gonna come back through with our razor blade. By this point, you should have probably have, on a two-door machine like this, you should probably have gone through 2 or 3 razor blades. They tend to get dull, and then they don't scrape the glass and get the debris off. So your master kit comes with 5 razor blades. So you just wanna make sure that you're tossing those in the garbage. So I can hear grit on this, so I'm gonna wanna razor blade this twice. I know this is kind of a pain and it's very tedious, but a tinted machine is worth it. I'm gonna move this mirror kind of up and out of my way. I don't want to hit my film on it while I'm trying to do my install. So because of the grit on this windshield, I am gonna do this again. I was originally thinking while I was scrubbing it to just do it once. If there's any stickers, make sure you get the adhesive off. You don't want that trapped between your film. So I'm gonna just scrubby this down again. All right, and then I'm just gonna take my razor blade and re-razor blade the whole glass. I'm getting my razor blade behind this. I've noticed on these Can-Am machines, tinted about probably 400 or 500 of these Can-Am windshields, I noticed that they like to have dirt tucked up underneath there, and it will end up in your film. So just a little trick. I'll show you another trick on how to avoid that dirt. We used to do a lot of window tinting on these new Can-Am Defenders right when they came out for a dealer local to us. So I've tinted plenty of these. So if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My number's listed on our website, UtvWindowTint. So feel free to call. So you can use a razor handle, but I like to use the razor blade as this, as I get a pretty good grip on it. I'm hearing less grit now, so I'm satisfied with the surface. And I feel as if there's not anything left. So again, what we're gonna do is we're gonna squeegee all this off using our pink install tool and a towel. I'm gonna mist more soapy water on here. That's why it's important to cover your dash. You wanna make sure that there's not soapy water getting into your electronics. So this is the trick I was gonna teach. So underneath here, you wanna just kind of take your conquistador and just wipe this area out, and it's kind of digging behind the metal right there, and it's squeegeeing out any potential dirt. So I'm just gonna squeegee off this whole window with this tool. And again, I'm just kind of working from the center outwards, and I wanna make sure that I'm not creating or leaving any bit of dirt, and I'm kind of creating a wave of, I'm rinsing dirt down to the bottom of the window. Now I'm just gonna take my pink tool, I'm just gonna push all this dirt down. And each time I'm wiping off just to ensure that there's no more dirt left on my blade. And I'm just going to come back in and I'm gonna mist this one more time. For the speed of the video, I'm gonna use my tint squeegee, which is gonna cover a lot more area. So I'm gonna wipe off my blade on the bigger squeegee, and I'm just gonna go up and around the mirror post. So I'm wiping each time. You'd be doing the same with your pink. It would just take you a little bit more time. And I'm gonna squeegee all this off, ensuring that I don't leave any water behind. And now I'm ready for my install. So I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna make an L out of it. I'm gonna do this alone. So I'm gonna take my spray bottle, I'm sitting comfortably in the seat, I'm not strained, and I'm just gonna wet this whole window, and I'm kind of doing little mist because I don't wanna rinse dirt down from that mirror post area. So now I'm misting all of the glass. I'm comfortable, I'm gonna use both my hands. I'm gonna get the liner to peel to the backside. And then once the liner's peeled to the backside, I don't want it to touch. I don't want the film to touch anything but the glass. I don't want it to flop and touch a pillar. I don't want it to touch anything else. If it touches anything else, it will pick the dirt off of it, and then that will be in your work. So now you don't have to rush this. As long as the soapy water is not drying, you don't have to rush. So I just want this to simply land on the glass, and I control this with my right hand. So once it kind of touches the glass, the film, it will kind of create a little bit of suction where it will stay, unless it does that. So what I want to do is I want this to land underneath here without touching that mirror post, which it did a really nice job. So now I'm controlling the speed with my hand. This is all laid. I do have a little bit of shifting power here to wiggle the film around. This last little part, you want to just keep the liner away from the glass, create this wave. So what I did is I created this wave. This then caused it to not touch the side pillar here. And now I can just use my hand to simply walk this film into my side gasket. So hopefully there's no dirt. So now what I want to do is I want to take my spray bottle. I want to give like 3 little mist to the outside of the film. And I just want to squeegee the center outwards. Wipe, squeegee center outwards. And again, we want to wipe just in case I grab a piece of dirt from that side gasket. I don't want to scratch my film. It'd be a really crappy way to wreck a perfect tint job by scratching your film. So here we go. So this is the 50% ceramic. We'll have a little video here, a clip of what this machine looked like. The customer requested 20% ceramic on the sides and 50 on the windshield. It's gonna look really nice, not gonna be too dark. The customer did install some aftermarket LED headlights, so that's gonna help him see out this windshield if he chooses to operate the machine at night. So I'm just gonna squeegee all of this down. And again, if we had fingers from not heat shrinking, we would see those fingers popping up at the bottom. But because we shrunk, I don't think we're gonna see any fingers on this. So we actually do have one little finger over there. We'll see if it pushes out this time. So this would be your second squeegee. You always wanna make sure you're squeegeeing out a piece of film this big twice. So I'm using my bigger squeegee. Again, you would just want to put more pressure on your pink squeegee. I just want to get the video clip done in a reasonable time so we don't have a 40-minute long YouTube video. So I'm wiping off my blade each time. And this is where this big finger is. I just pushed it down. We'll see if it comes back. You want to double check that a couple hours after you do your install. Like I said, a lot of customers don't use a heat gun. They just keep pushing that down every couple hours, and eventually the glue will start to overtake. The water will dissipate and the glue will stick. So in my corner here, I'm just gonna push this down, and that's a windshield install on this Can-Am Defender new style. It's the same as the old style. I just wanna wipe this down, and then we'll wipe out the outside of the machine, and we'll make sure that we don't have any bubbles that I can push out. And that's a full install of a Can-Am Defender.